I gotta say, as a kid, I enjoyed the heck out of the first Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen. You know, he will always be my Santa Claus. The first Santa Claus film holds a special place in my heart. It's a classic, and it's a movie I watch every year during Christmas. It's definitely one that I enjoy, and I know I'm not alone in this, as it is a childhood favorite of mine. Hey, look, I'll also go ahead and say I wasn't a big fan of the second or third Santa Claus movie. And to be quite frank, they just didn't have that magic or charm like the first one did. And I would say it was those two major ingredients that were missing in the sequels. The first film just had that right amount of good old-fashioned holiday spirit to it that was missing in the sequels. Am I right or am I right? Alright, so Tim Allen is back in the red suit, and we all know him as Buzz Lightyear from the Toy Story movies.
Snap out of it, Buzz!
And Tim Taylor in the Home Improvement Show. And here he reprises his role as Scott Calvin, aka Santa Claus. And it's great to see him back again, and with his big belly and white hair. I wonder if anyone mistakes him for a Targaryen. No? Okay, well. For those of you who don't know, the Santa Claus series has a span of 3 films. 1994's The Santa Claus, 2002 The Santa Claus 2, and 2006 The Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. And here we are with Disney Plus's The Santa Clauses, which includes some familiar cast of characters who have appeared in previous Santa Claus films, while introducing some new cast members for this 6-episode series that will include a grown-up Kumar and Jordan Peele as an elf. Okay, so the story is that Scott Calvin is on his 65th birthday, and he's beginning to realize he can't be Santa Claus forever, and he's losing that drive to do it as well. And it's also fair to mention that less and less people are not believing in Santa, and it's weakening his Christmas magic. So Scott wants to set out and look for a replacement, hopes for someone else to take the mantle and bring back Christmas. Alright, so I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and I will say this, that it's better than the second and the third, but it's not better than the first, and I'll go as far and say I don't think it will be better than the first without even seeing the rest of the episodes. And I'm not just saying that because of the nostalgia or because I saw it as a kid or because it was the original. No, I don't think those reasons make a good argument for being the best. Like I said before, the first just had that magic quality to it that I don't see here, and it's not fair to compare it to the first, but it's hard not to. Let me be clear, I didn't go into this expecting it to be like the first. I wanted to just open-minded and being curious to see what kind of story it wants to tell and how it's going to tell it. And so far, it's not bad. The show still managed to channel that spirit of the franchise. The one thing that this show does more so than the film is that it does go a little bit deeper into the mythology of it all being Santa Claus, diving into questions that many would ask and how things work, to which makes this a bit interesting. For example, I like how Scott questions about the previous Santa Claus before him and how none of the elves don't even remember him or speak about him. Heck, even Mrs. Claus questions about the past Mrs. Claus. I will say there are some nice laughs to be had here. Nothing to bust out in tears over or anything, but some nice decent laughs here and there. That makes this quite enjoyable. A lot of it comes from the elves and what Santa Claus says at times. I like the naughty list part with the girl elf who kept interrupting Santa. She was pretty funny, and she pops up here and there throughout the 2 episodes. I noticed with myself that there's always an elf that I like throughout the Santa Claus films, and this particular girl elf that I'm speaking about sticks out to me, and here I really like her. I also enjoy the interaction Santa Claus has with the elves because it's so adorable and humorous at the same time, because you're watching a grown man speak to a child who's in like an adult position, and they're speaking about something serious, I guess, and Santa takes them seriously. And there's something about that I find funny, because you're just thinking like, dude, you're talking to a kid. Well, technically they are like hundreds of years old, so there's that. One thing I want to mention here, and I'm being a bit of a nitpicker here, but don't let this sway you. However, this new Santa Claus show and the second and third movie have failed to top the production value and music from the first film. And I say that because I truly believe that those 2 things really help sell the idea of the North Pole being this road of wonder and having a sense of awe and wonder. I mean, just look at this. The clothing, the wardrobe, the drapes, the doors, the floors, the machinery, everything about it just screams Santa Claus's home. And the music. I understand the movie may have had a bigger budget, but still, you just can't beat it. Now, I don't consider myself a fan of the series, but I do consider myself a fan of the first film. And one thing this show does that I like is its callbacks to the first film with flashbacks and reprising characters. I mean, my goodness sake, I can't believe Charlie is back and he's all grown up. They grow up so fast. I mean, I hope they continue to do this and bringing more familiar faces and characters from the previous film. I myself want to see Bernard again, which I know he's back because I've seen him in the trailer. And let me just say, I love Bernard. He's my favorite character. I don't know what it is about the guy, but I really like him. And I was disappointed to see he wasn't in the third film. Hey, look, I also want to see Elf Judy from the first film. You know, the girl who made the hot cocoa? Not Judy from the second film. They couldn't fool me with that. You know what? I want to see all the elves from the first film. I don't care if they are adults, just make it work, Disney. I want to see Scott Calvin's ex-wife Laura, her husband Neil. They are all so memorable to me. Now, there's a scene where Santa goes back to the same exact house he went to in the first film with the little girl Sarah, who left out the soy milk for Santa, for those of you who don't remember. And this time she is all grown up, and I thought it was so cute that the movie did this. The only problem I have with this, and you all may laugh at me, but those of you who grew up with the first film's cast and characters will understand, and that is that the actress who plays the adult Sarah isn't the same actress in the first film. I would have liked had they got the original actress instead, because I grew up with these actors playing these characters, and it just means a lot to me. It's not a huge deal breaker. Well, maybe it is, but it would have been nice. By the way, folks, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to reach my goal of 500 subs by the end of this year. It would mean the world to me, seriously. No, seriously, it would. So please like and subscribe. All in all, I will say that this is a good family-oriented show that's still silly, and it's something to watch with the family and kids. The episodes are only 30 minutes long, which I feel is just right, and the story within the episodes don't drag at all, and it has a decent pace. Also a nice lightheartedness to it all that I hope the show continues to have and more. If it doesn't, then boy oh boy, we could be in trouble. I'm just saying.